You stopped sharing the personal details of your life with snakes, and now they're mad. There are some people who get very upset because you're not giving them all the personal details of your life. You decided to stop sharing your personal information with them. You decided to stop giving them your good news. You decided to stop telling them anytime things happen good for you in your life or bad because you notice how they are when they receive it. There are some people, they get very triggered when they hear your good news, and you picked up on that, so you got real quiet. See, there are some people, you have to keep them in the dark when it comes to your personal life because they cannot handle it. Either they're going to take too much joy in the bad things, or they're going to get upset at the good things. So you decided just to be quiet altogether. And some people are wondering why you don't speak to them. Why didn't they know that you got married? Why didn't they know that you moved? Why didn't they know that you got a new job? It's because you kept it to yourself. You see, there are some people, you can sense their jealousy and envy when you speak to them. And instead of saying something, you simply got quiet. And now people are confused as into why they're in the dark about your life. And you see, a lot of times the people who are going to be most confused are the people who you tend to confide in the most, which happen to be the people who talk about you the most. When people gossip, complain, talk about you behind your back, and you catch wind of that, those are the very people you need to start leaving in the dark. And they will notice that you're keeping them in the dark because they'll start hearing things through other people, people who are not snakes. See, you're not obligated to tell gossips, to tell jealous, envious haters anything about yourself. But there are some people, they want to be close to you simply so they can have a front seat to either your failures or a front seat to your wins so that they can hate on you. They want to give out bad energy any way they can get it out, and you refuse to let them do that. So these people, they're in the dark. They're wondering why they didn't know certain things about your life. It's because you decided to keep those things private. I just saw a video not too long ago, and this was actually of a man, because I know a lot of you say men can be just as jealous, just as hateful, just as envious as women, and I believe it because I see it. There was a young man, he was celebrating, I don't know exactly what he was celebrating. I think he did something great. I think it was like a new job or something, but he was celebrating with his friends. He had on a nice suit, looked very nice, very happy. Do you know that his friends actually assaulted him? And I'm not sure if he's still here or not, but I know that's what they did to him during this celebration. I hope you can piece this all together because I'm watching my words carefully for the YouTube algorithm. But I say that to say that sometimes if you go through enough of life, you will start realizing that you have to learn how to celebrate by yourself. You have to learn how to celebrate your wins in private with people you can trust, or better yet, by yourself. The better you start doing in life, the more quiet you have to become. Everybody is not going to be able to handle seeing you win. Everybody's not going to be able to handle seeing you make some kind of movement in your life. People get jealous and envious of anything, and I mean absolutely anything. To you, it might be something minor, but to them, it could be something so major, it can change how they look at you and cause them to have resentment and bitterness towards you. And I know in a perfect world, people are thinking, I should be able to tell my friend this. I should be able to share this news with everybody. I'm not going to hide what I'm doing because of other people. It's not a matter of hiding. It's a matter of understanding the spirit of the people you're dealing with. When you start realizing that we deal with a lot more darker, wicked, jealous, envious spirits, the less concerned you will be with getting the applause of other people, and the more concerned you become with keeping yourself safe. Jealousy and envy has no preference. So it doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman. It doesn't matter if you got a better job. It doesn't matter if you got something so bottom of the barrel. People who have a jealous, envious spirit, they will come for you. It's a matter of not making yourself a target. And I know some people may not want to hear that, but when it comes to jealousy and envy, and especially when you have a level of self-awareness as a woman, meaning when you understand that you're not doing things that the average person or the average woman is doing, you start checking yourself. You start making moves in a more quiet, covert kind of way. It's because you understand that other people are not going to celebrate you. Most people won't. And people who are a little bit naive, they still have that thought that, oh, I won, so everybody is happy for me. Absolutely not. These people called themselves this man's friends, and they beat him up in the car during his big day. That is a jealous, envious spirit. And not being aware of what you're dealing with will have you out here open to these jealous, envious, toxic people. So learning how to celebrate your wins in private, learning how to take care of your bad times in private, that is something that is going to help you when people get upset that they don't know all your business. And they should be. You know, keeping people in the dark is actually good for you. Knowing how to say, thank you, Lord, for this gift and just enjoy it quietly. Thank you, Lord, for this money and not feel like you need to announce it to the world. That is power. People will see the fruit in your life before you even say it. Haters will also sense that too. But when you don't tell them anything, you make yourself less of a target. The downfall of a lot of people, and this is the reason why I believe jealous, envious people sometimes have so much leeway, is because people open their mouths to the wrong people. When you understand that everybody is not going to clap for you when you start winning, when you start assessing the room, the situation, your environment, and realize that there are a lot more people losing right now than winning, you tend to get more quiet. And that is not to say that you're putting down other people. That's just situational awareness. That's just being a wise woman. So these people, they're confused. They're trying to figure out, why didn't they know that you moved to a bigger house? Why didn't they know that you work at a new job? Why didn't they know you got married? Why didn't they know these things? Because you sense the jealous, envious energy from them every time you say something and you got quiet. You started to pull back. It is never a wrong thing to pull back from a hater or a person who's giving you dead energy anytime you are giving them good news. It's also not wrong to pull back from people who are a little bit too excited when you give them bad news, because that's a thing too. One of the telltale signs of a jealous, envious person, that you have a person around you who is not your friend but actually a hater, is that they get a little bit too excited at the bad things you go through. And I have been through those kind of things where it almost felt like the person I was talking to was getting some kind of enjoyment out of my tough time, out of the fact that I was going through a situation, out of the fact that me and so was not getting along. It's almost as if they got excitement out of that. But then when you notice, all of a sudden the situation got better. You and the person are talking, you're friends again. You and your family member are close. Now these people don't want anything to do with you. It's because you remove the drama. So these people are trying to figure out, why don't they know certain things about you? It's because you recognize them for the snake that they are, and you started to be quiet around them. You stopped telling them all the personal details of your life. You don't mind keeping snakes in the dark because that's where they belong. People, as I've said before, who want to use your life for entertainment purposes, or they want to use your life as a form of attack against you. They want you to feel bad about good things and want you to hype up bad things. Those people are jealous, envious, and just miserable individuals, and you need to avoid them at all costs. Keep them in the dark. And I know it can be difficult when you have good things going on and you just want to shout it from the rooftops. You want to tell everybody what you're doing. But because of the time that we live in, everybody cannot handle good things, even if it's something minor. If you lost 5 pounds, that's a great thing, but it's not major. But for somebody, it will be major. For somebody, it will cause them to look at you differently. It will cause them to look at you like you're a threat. So these people are trying to wonder, or they're trying to figure out, why didn't they know certain things about you? It's because you kept them in the dark. And I want to go back to that looking at you as a threat part, because all it takes is one little thing for a jealous, envious person for them to see you in a whole different light. It can be a matter of you starting to speak better, starting to look better. It can be a matter of you making little tweaks, little changes. You have new habits in your life. If somebody's jealous and envious of you, they're not going to like the fact that you stop going to IHOP every morning and instead you go to the gym. They're not going to like that. Your friend who's used to meeting you there and you switch it up because you want to be healthier, suddenly if they're jealous and envious of that habit, that new healthy habit that you're making in your life, you might see the energy shift. So you might have to keep them in the dark about what you're doing. Just let them know, I can't meet you for breakfast. I'm going to the gym. Or you don't have to tell them that. I have something to do, but I'll meet you later on this afternoon. Sometimes not telling people all of your business, even the things you consider minor, that is safety for you. It keeps a target off your back. This is not you being ashamed of your life because you're blessed. You're doing great. It's a matter of understanding that haters cannot handle it. It's a matter of understanding that you're dealing with more miserable people than happy people. And then I want to backtrack on they can't handle your bad news, or they actually get excited about the bad things. That is one of the major ways that you can tell you need to pull back from somebody, that they have a little bit of jealousy and envy towards you. Because when they get so excited about bad things happening in your life, most people who are not your friends or who are your friends, they don't like to see you going through tough times. They hate to hear it. I remember times when I was, having a rough patch in my relationship, having a rough patch in my job, and I would talk to my best friend, and she always offered up solutions. She always gave me that encouraging word, and she also reassured me that everything was going to work out. And she often would try to shift the conversation onto something more positive. You see, that's what friends do. That's what people who actually care for you do. Now, a hater, on the other hand, a person who is jealous and envious and getting amusement from the bad things you go through, they want to hear all the details. Even after you've forgotten about it, they still want to hear all the details. You could have gotten over that situation. You and your husband, you and your boyfriend, you're perfectly fine. You and your sister, mother, whomever, you're getting along great, got a better job, making more money, but they will not let you forget about the bad times. It's nothing worse than having a so-called friend or a so-called close family member who constantly wants to remind you of all the bad things you've been through. It's like they get joy out of speaking about it. So these people are trying to figure out, why are they in the dark about you? Why didn't they know certain details of your life? It's because you stopped telling them. I actually grew up around people who love hearing other people's bad news. And what made it worse is that when they came into those people's face, they were smiling as if it was the best thing ever. That's called kicking somebody while they're down. So these people are trying to figure out, why are they in the dark? Why didn't you tell me this? And some people have so much audacity and boldness and foolishness with their jealousy and envy that they actually still fake nice to you in an attempt to try to get more details about you. But when you recognize a jealous, envious, miserable person for who and what they are, you give them very vague answers. If they say, how's the job going? You say, oh, it's going fine. It's going good. Thank you. How's your husband doing? How's the kids? They're doing great. They don't need all the details. Even if you're going through a tough time, and I know I can hear some people saying now, you shouldn't tell people not to tell anybody when they're going through a tough time. Everybody needs help. Absolutely. If you're going through a bad time and you feel like you need to reach out for help, reach out for help. Just don't reach out for a snake, because they will bite you. See, discernment and wisdom, especially if you're a woman of God, if you're a spiritual woman, if you have discernment from God, you know who to reach out to in your time of need and who not to. Because people who are jealous and envious and miserable, and they get amusement out of the things that you go through, they are going to make your situation worse. By the time you're done talking to them, you're going to feel 10 times worse than what you felt when you first got on the phone or when you first went into their house. So knowing who to confide in is actually going to help you to feel better if you are going through a bad situation. But going through a bad situation and then talking to somebody who you know is getting enjoyment out of your bad times, that is not wise. So these people are trying to figure out, why didn't they know certain things about you? Why does it appear that they're in the dark about you? It's like suddenly you become a mystery. It's because you deliberately stopped telling them your business. It's because you deliberately stop calling them. It's because you deliberately stop associating with people who did nothing but use your bad times for entertainment and then dumped on everything good you had going on in your life. You started surrounding yourself with people who get you. And see, the older you get as a woman, the more you mature, the more you realize your worth and your value. You start realizing that there are people who are like-minded, who will understand the things that you go through and not make you feel 10 times worse. There are people who will actually feel good for you because you celebrating your big accomplishment. They will like seeing you happy. That is a normal thing with people who are not jealous and envious. But when people realize that they're not that person in your life anymore, it can make them feel kind of mad. You know, some people who are jealous and envious and miserable, sometimes they think they have you fooled, especially if it's somebody that you know closely and that resentment and that envy starts building up over time. They can think that they know you so well that you just overlook the fact that they're a hater, that you're not noticing certain patterns with them. If you've been around people who you accepted their envy, their jealousy, their little backhanded compliments, the negative things they would say about you under their breath, the way they would look at you like they smell something foul, if you overlook that stuff for a long time and you start realizing that it's not normal, they will actually be surprised that you notice it because they thought they had you fooled. They thought that you were so dumb, so naive, so nice that you just overlook all this stuff and keep yourself wide open to them. But when you start realizing that these are not your people, meaning these are not the people who are your support system, these are not your people who actually want to see you win and do well, that's when you start getting quiet. It's like you decided that I'm no longer going to be the proverbial punching bag for a person who's miserable in their own life, so they want to pass that over to me. These people are trying to figure out, why didn't they know certain things about you? Why does it feel like they're in the dark when it comes to your life? You're a mystery. It's because you stop associating with snakes. Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comments section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.